This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On news this evening, National Industrial Court orders resident doctors to suspend strike. Another fire outbreak in Rivers State destroys shops. NSCDC parades 6 suspects in Port Harcourt. Senate President Ahmed Lawan advises against hastily reintegrating repentant terrorists into society. And on the foreign scene, villages evacuated as fresh wildfires hit Greece. I am Carl Orakwue with the news. The National Industrial Court Abuja Division has ordered the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, to suspend its ongoing strike. The judge, John Targema, gave the order while ruling on an ex parte application by the federal government. The government had asked the court for an order of interlocutory injunction restraining the doctors from continuing with the strike. The doctors had on August 1 embarked on an indefinite strike over alleged irregular payment of salaries, amongst other issues. The strike has continued nationwide despite efforts by stakeholders to mediate between both parties. Meanwhile, the President, Nigeria Medical Association, NMA, Professor Innocent Uja, says the recent agreement between the association and the federal government binds other health associations, including the striking National Association of Resident Doctors. Professor Uja spoke as a guest on Channels Television this morning while responding to the rejection of the agreement by the striking resident doctors.
So largely, as far as the Nigerian Medical Association is concerned, and also the affiliate, we agreed on all the 12 points, I think about 12 points, including the issues not just resident doctors, also including Medical and Data Consultants Association of Nigeria, and also the Association of Medical Doctor Specialists in the Academics. And it was that time for us to look at the details. We went into the details. We then were convinced that if the government would do its own bit, it was good to go. And that was at that point that we agreed that we must put pen to paper.
Professor Uja said the NMA disagreed with the government over the no work, no pay policy against striking health workers.
The only area of contention which the resident doctors were not satisfied with was the issue of no work, no pay. One of the things that we insisted and was put down was that nobody that took part in the strike was going to be victimized. So that was clearly stated, and based on that, we felt that in our own understanding and the ordinary meaning of nobody will be victimized, the Nigerian Medical Association, Medical and Data Consultants Association of Nigeria, and the Association of Medical Doctor Specialists in Academics went ahead to sign the document.
Amidst agitations by some Niger Delta groups over the new Petroleum Industry Act, veteran Nollywood actor Fred Amata has advised Niger Delta stakeholders to focus on national growth. The actor, who is in Port Harcourt for a film class project, spoke to our correspondent.
Nigeria should start developing towards issues that grow the country. Certain issues just further cause division. And all this bitterness and schemings, we should eschew them and pursue policies that improve our country. We need to grow the country.
This follows a threat by a group, Anyoma Youth Forum Worldwide, that there may be fresh agitation in the Niger Delta over the recent signing of the Petroleum Industry Bill into law. National President of the Forum, Nnamdi Ofoye, in an interview said the 3% is still a far cry from what they expected. The Director of Defense Information, Benjamin Sawyer, has responded to the threat, saying the military has all it takes to ensure that there is peace and stability in the Niger Delta. The Rivers State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has paraded 6 persons accused of illegally dealing in petroleum products. The suspects were arrested in an oil vessel named MV Eukarya that contained 28 compartments filled with suspected adulterated diesel. The oil barge, along with the 6 suspects, were arrested on August 20 at Ajib Jetty off Eagle Island Road. Correspondent Sylvia Ruwari reports that some of the 6 suspects paraded denied any involvement in the crime. At least 7 shops were destroyed this morning following a fire outbreak at T Junction in Rumaholo community of Akbo local government area of Rivers State. Our correspondent gathered that the fire incident happened at 2 a.m. Some affected traders spoke to our correspondent.
This shop now you see now is my own shop. This morning, my brother called me, say fire is burning in our shop, Oroma Hollow Junction, T Junction here, and everything now got burned. Everything got burned. Everything in this shop, shoe, palms, I used to sell here, everything got burned.
This morning they called me that my shop got burned. So when I came here, I saw everything burned to ashes. We're short. I want government to help us because we don't have any hope again. I said, shoot, look at how I was sitting. My friends, they came to console me. So that is how we see it this morning. I don't know, but the people that came that morning said when they touched the door to break and save some things, that the place was burning. So I don't know the cause of it.
Another affected trader, Orakwue Sunday, a foodstuffs dealer, also spoke to our correspondent.
I deal on foodstuffs, rice, gari, beans, and other foodstuffs. I must tell you from the depth of my heart, what I have lost is close to 3.something million naira because they just offloaded goods for me yesterday. And I came back immediately I came back from the church, they called me that the truck that carried my goods, that they are here. After the offloading the goods, the ones they brought and the ones that is already in the shop, cannot count the loss. It's very painful. The kind of pain that I'm going through now is only God that will be able to sustain me.
Now, Mr. Sunday also regretted the failure of the fire service to put out the fire.
I deal on foodstuffs, rice, gari, beans, and other foodstuffs. I must tell you from the depth of my heart, what I have lost is close to 3.something million naira because they just offloaded goods for me yesterday. And I came back immediately I came back from the church, they called me that the truck that carried my goods, that they are.
I apologize for that mix-up. Also, some of those who helped put out the fire explained what may have caused the fire.
What actually happened is that you know how voltage fluctuation can happen all the time. It actually happened this morning at this high tension from here. Potential of God born, as you can see. Someone I just went to the market to get stuff. Actually, I can actually remember when he was posting it on Instagram, something of 30k. But when actually posting his shoe that he bought 30k, it's very painful, it's very annoying. One of the shops that got bought, where they sell gas cylinders, as you can see. This one is just a new boutique. It's not even up to 2 weeks.
All those two wires joined together. This wire, those connection, those small connection, is from pole because this is started around 3 o'clock. Till this morning 6 o'clock.
A lot of damages occurred here because you can find out that all this happened because of the electric fault.
There's no recovery. There's no recovery of anything. The property is lost totally. The people that have 2 shops, 3 shops, there's nothing to recover. At this moment, this is the one we need the government most.
Still ahead in the news this evening, Senate President Ahmed Lawan advises against hastily reintegrating repentant terrorists into society. To stay tuned.
Democracy is the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Nigeria Info opens the mic. This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. The paramount ruler of Umuobochi, Orakwue local government area, Eze Captain Dan, says now that the governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, has signed the prohibition of open grazing and rearing of livestock bill into law, stakeholders should ensure that it is fully implemented to stop the clash between herders and farmers. While speaking to our correspondent, he called for proper sensitization of the people on the new law.
This open grazing has caused a lot of problems for farmers and communities. We welcome the bill and we will do everything possible to ensure that it is fully implemented. The message will be, brought to the communities and to those who own livestock to construct pens or where to keep them and then feed the animals as being practiced in other foreign countries and in other organized places. So it is for the communities to bring it to the notice of those who have livestock.
On his part, the Paramount ruler, Rumaholo community, Eze Ibekwele Welakba JP, said leaders in various communities will have to work together alongside local government councils for proper implementation of the law.
We value cow more than human beings. Make alternative place where you keep your cow. And people, we need cow. The cow, spoil our own things. So if the cow will damage the crops of the farm, how can we make the food now? I know we need a long time. The instructions to be given by the local government how to contain it. And I saw the local government will invite us with the traditional communities. And the local government will also invite us. Then we'll put the head together and know how the way they are going about it, it might cost issue. So we'll meet and see how, if there's any way we can find a place for them to settle those their accounts.
I do recall the Commissioner for Agriculture, Fred Bako, had said the state government will carry out proper sensitization before the implementation of the law. This comes days after the leadership of the Arewa Consultative Forum in the state urged the government to sensitize herders before implementing the law. Senate President Ahmed Lawan has cautioned the federal and state governments against hastily reintegrating repentant terrorists into society. Speaking to journalists after a private meeting with President Buhari today, Senator Lawan said government must get the right strategies on how to deal with the integration of such people into the community. The Senate President said he was at the presidential villa to confer with the President on issues of governance, the 2022 budget and insecurity. He, however, called for a clearly defined national policy on how to tackle the humanitarian challenges arising from the security challenges. Nigeria recorded 388 new cases of COVID-19 and 8 deaths on Sunday. Data from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, said the cases were reported in 12 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Lagos topped the list with 166 new infections, with Akwa Ibom 89 and Rivers 76. In business news, payment giant PayPal says it will this week begin to allow users in Britain buy, hold and sell cryptocurrency through the online payment platform for the first time. The expansion into the hot digital money trend follows similar moves by the payment giants in the United States earlier this year. The US firm said its new service would allow UK-based customers to choose from 4 types of cryptocurrency: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. In entertainment news, veteran Nollywood actor Kepi Ekpeong has called for more funding for the entertainment industry in Nigeria. In an interview with our correspondent, Mr. Ekpeong also regretted the loss of cultural values amongst the younger generation.
For those of us from the Niger Delta extraction, we've always been a cultural people. Being cultural means that we are socially active and we have a healthy communal lifestyle. We have massive reflection of our culture that affects the whole country. Apart from our natural resources, what we can do to evolve policies that will affect us, in other words, affect the country, is to fund the entertainment industry. I've always thought about funding of the entertainment industry as a major instrument or key instrument towards translating those our desires to reality. We need a lot of documentation of our history as well, which is all part of our cultural heritage. There's nobody around again, so we're losing a whole generation of people who are like from 35 years and under.
In sports, German international Joshua Kimmich has signed an extension to stay at Bayern Munich until 2025. And the club announced this today. Kimmich, a versatile player at ease in both defence and midfield, was under contract with the German champions until 2023.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
As scores of firefighters battle to contain 2 new wildfires in Greece today. This is as winds fanned the blazes and forced several villages and neighborhoods to be evacuated. Both fires erupted not far from the site of devastating wildfires as with parts of Greece earlier this summer, forcing thousands from their homes and destroying property, wildlife and livestock. Scientists have warned that extreme weather and fierce fires will become increasingly common due to man-made global warming, and Greece's Prime Minister has linked the blazes to climate change. And that just about does it here on the news this evening. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Earlier on, we told you the National Industrial Court has ordered resident doctors to suspend its strike. NSCDC has paraded 6 suspects in Port Harcourt. There's been another fire outbreak in River State, leaving at least 7 shops destroyed. We told you the Senate President Ahmed Lawan has advised against hastily reintegrating repentant terrorists into society. And from the foreign scene, you heard villages have been evacuated as fresh wildfires hit Greece. The news is edited by Choma Ezenwafo. For eyewitness reports and breaking news stories, to contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. For more stories, do visit www.nigeriainfo.fm. Light rain is expected in Port Harcourt this evening. I am Carl Orakwue. To enjoy the rest of your evening.